All right, in this video, we have the new LeBron 20s. This is the box right here. Wanted to show you guys the new product because obviously you look at this shoe and you automatically don't think LeBron. You absolutely think Kobe. And just for reference, here is the LeBron 19, which is absolutely ridiculous looking, just loaded in tech, but almost too loaded, like just way too much air in here. This definitely just reminds you more of a Kobe than it does a LeBron. Interesting that they decided to change the approach back to something more back to basics like this. But I think it's a great move. However, I just wanted to talk about kind of my thoughts on that whole transition there. But anyway, let's get into the video. New LeBron 20s. First things first, let's go ahead and take a look at this box. It is a controversy in my mind right off the gate because it does say LeBron 20 on the box, and this colorway is the Violet Frost Metallic Gold. But the reason why I think this is controversial, and really maybe I'm just looking too deep into this, absolutely I'm probably looking too deep into this, but bear with me now because it says strive for greatness. Now we know that's LeBron's tagline, strive for greatness, we get it. But then it continues on and it says Cleveland, Miami, Los Angeles. Cleveland 03 to 10, Miami 10 to 14, Cleveland 14 to 18, and then Los Angeles 18 to now. There's also a little infinity logo in the middle of the thing. But what is greatness? Not to get all Socrates on you, but so in my mind, they're on the nose saying greatness is just chasing your championship dreams instead of building a community, having a strong following with one team and sticking it out, and really when the going gets tough, then you just continue through and you persevere instead of jumping ship and then going to another team and then keep chasing the championship rings. Now I might be looking too deep into this. I absolutely am looking too deep in this. But anyway, I look at that and that's the tagline, right? Strive for greatness. And then I look at this shoe and they'll go, wait a minute, what is greatness now? Because greatness is copying Kobe. Greatness is not taking your own product that people have known and then keep on building off of that. It's stealing from the other design from another player. Now, if I didn't tell you guys that these were LeBrons, I think most of you guys would think automatically this is a new Kobe. And also last year, I believe I saw some stats. The #1 worn pair of sneakers in the league across the NBA was Nike Kobe signatured models, even though they're not even in production. They're the #1 shoe that everybody wears. It's the one that everybody strive to get, and it's the one that everybody keeps going back to. So do you think it's a strategic play of Nike to go, okay, well, they want something that looks like a Kobe because that's what everybody likes to play in? Let's give them a Kobe, but let's call it LeBron 20. I feel like that's kind of the direction that they went in. They're listening to the people and then crafting something that might be more appealing to the masses instead of doing the thing, the head down approach that it feels like Nike does a lot of the time when they're okay, LeBron, let's make you something. You like air, let's give you air. Let's give you lots of air. Let's give you triple stack zoom air in the front, 7 pods in the back. And then let's put air in the tongue and around the collar too. There's so much air going on this shoe. And I'm not hating on the LeBron 19. I actually like the model. It is really beefy on feet though. It is definitely loaded in tech. And that's something that the LeBron line has kind of always brought. It's always brought the latest and greatest technology to a pair of sneakers. Now that I've said my words about that, at the end of the day, this shoe is really, really dope. I've always liked the LeBron line quite a bit. It's always been crazy and different, but I've always really liked the Kobe line as well. And obviously the Nike basketball luster has gone way downhill since probably the LeBron 9 or so. So this brings it back to basics in a sense. It looks fantastic. There's lots of interesting details to the shoe in hand, so it definitely looks like more of an elevated pair of even Kobe's, because back when the Kobe's were coming out like this is a Flyknit upper. Flyknit was a little bit newer back then, and now they've taken it and just added a ton of different accents to it, added stitching overlays and stuff. LeBron's always released low top versions of his sneakers, but never the flagship in a low top form. So I think that this is showing that times are changing. This is a shoe, and honestly, this is a far reach, but this is a shoe that I could see connecting with his kids. It's a shoe that his kids can actually wear on court and off court and go, cool. These are my dad's shoes. These are the LeBron 20s. This is a shoe that I could see his kids flying in and just dominating the courts in as well. So I think it's a good strategic move. Again, I'm looking way farther into it than it probably has to be, but that's just my overall thoughts about the shoe. I think it looks fantastic. Also something really cool, they added a little tech card inside of the box, and it does say Nike Sphere for the liner of the shoe. It's an interesting, like a golf ball sort of feeling liner inside of the shoe. It's soft. It's not like it's hard, obviously, but there's like little indents and divots inside of the liner. I'm not really sure why they did that. Maybe they were planning on cutting down on weight a little bit. It features a Cushlon midsole with Zoom Air that's bottom loaded in the heel and then top loaded on the forefoot. It does have a carbon fiber shank in the midfoot and then a lateral guard rail inside of the shoe for stability, and then a multi-directional outsole traction array, it says. So really interesting move that they added a carbon fiber plate in the midfoot and then that shank plate along the side for stability. I think both of those things are great. Interesting choice with Cushlon instead of something like Nike React, but honestly, Cushlon is good. It's not a bad thing at all. It's definitely soft. I don't know if it bottoms out earlier than something like React, so that's one thing that maybe to be considered. But if you guys know, of course, leave a comment. Has Cushlon bottomed out on you in the past? I haven't seen Nike React really bottom out too much. But anyway, we have the Dunkman logo on the bottom as well, and I really like the overall pattern design on the outsole traction. I think that's great. I also like that Paisley LeBron design on the midsole here, which is very interesting because on one side it's done in foam and on the other side it's actually done in leather. So it feels like it's laser etched on both sides, but kind of cool that it's done on multiple different types of materials. The knit pattern is actually really cool as well. It looks like a larger gauge knit in the upper. I'm not sure if it's actually fly knit or what, but it's much larger than any other pair of sneakers that I've seen on the market. And it has kind of like an interesting little cross design as well. Not bad looking at all, but definitely not the most breathable. You have this little orange piping that goes all the way around the sides of the shoe, and it dips down underneath the laces and then goes all the way back around the heel of the shoe. Looks really cool. It adds a nice little accent to the shoe, and then underneath that you have a panel for the lace holes, and then a nice little XX Dubré down here, which looks nice. It's a nice little branding right there, and then it has LeBron's signature with an XX on the tongue. Controversial look right here, but you do have two swooshes on the outside of the LeBron shoe. Definitely kind of reminds you of a Sakai, but really reminds you of like the John Geiger Misplaced Checks collaboration, the Air Force Ones and stuff he did there. On the underneath swoosh, you have kind of like a pebbled leather or suede, and then you have the gold swoosh along the top, which I actually really like. It's a nice little accent. It kind of sticks out a little bit at the end. Reminds me a little bit of the ambush dunks. And then you have an X knit pattern all the way around the swoosh on the lateral side, and I really like that. It actually is kind of cool. It's a LeBron 20, and then you have X's everywhere. Obviously, X's or 10s. Another small detail, but even on the inside of the tongue, you have X's for the stitching. And it does say designed and engineered to the exact specifications of the next generation. Interesting that this says to the next generation and not to the exact specifications of LeBron James, which is what normally they say. Even the tongue has a little bit of a casual approach to it too. It has a little bit of foam here, exposed foam on the top, which is a nice aesthetic from a casual perspective. And then you also have a Swedish material on the tongue on the outside. Something that's a little bit different than the Kobe's. You can see there's like an outer shell on the outside, and then you do have the padding on the inside of that. So it's kind of like two different layers there. Kobe's traditionally just had one layer. And that's pretty much it for the details. At the end of the day, it's a very nice looking pair of sneakers. It's a very nice, refreshing, simpler take on a pair of LeBrons. And I do feel like there's some inspiration from the Kobe line instead of just an updated version of a LeBron. Also, I did want to mention sizing. I went with a size 10. Normally I'm a 9.5 in LeBrons, but since it looked more like a Kobe, I went with a size 10 because I figured it would actually fit me better, and I'm happy that I did with the wide feet gang action going on here. It fits me just great from a casual perspective. Anyways, what do you guys think about the new LeBron 20s? I'll link them in the description as soon as they become available on Nike and whatnot. But appreciate y'all for stopping by and watching. If you guys enjoyed the video and you have some other input to add that I missed out on, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. But appreciate you guys for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you guys enjoy the content, and hopefully we'll see you back for some more videos. All right, peace guys.